Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this series from Tiny Year by Agotapop. We have a singular flower to do here. I guess we had one right up here and here, so there are a few more singular flowers. I did look at that and initially think orange, but we've got an orange one and a pink one, so we'll do this one a little bit differently. Let's just move it. Oops. My swatch chart's in the way, just move it out of the way. I don't really use my swatch chart for my Polychromos very much. I'm just trying to get it straight. My camera isn't very straight, so but luckily I've got a grid line mark on it, so I can make sure the picture is sort of straightish. Right, so colour wise, I'm actually just looking and thinking, the leaves look like the lines come right to the edge here and here and here, but then there's a petal here, but I don't think that's where it's bent over. I might shall I start with the leaves? Would that be? Maybe not. What colour should we do? I think we need to decide on a colour before I do anything else. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this, and this. Secret colours. Here we go. So I have got my burnt carmine, my Venetian red, my dark flesh, and my medium flesh, that's salmon and coral. So I'm going to use those. So it will be pink, but pinky red, but it'll be these sort of interesting shades that I don't use very often. So start with the burnt carmine to do the darker areas. Now I'm definitely going to do these large petals here, as if petals, not leaves, like that. And then this little one here could be either, but I think I'm going to do it as a petal. You might look at it and think, actually I think that's a leaf, and if you do, then do it in the green when we come around to doing leaves. Yes, the leaves are going to be green. It's a little bit boring. But you know, sometimes it's good to be traditional. When we get Johanna's new book, Wonderful Wildflowers, then we might feel that we want to sometimes not always do green leaves, or you know, I mean not all leaves are green anyway, but you know, do less traditional colours when we've got so many to do. But today I'm going to do it this way. So just had a coffee outside, very end of my coffee, not very long, on the new benches that I painted. So that was an interesting experience. We'd left them quite a while to make sure they were fully dry. I did sort of touch them first to make sure they weren't tacky, which they weren't. Well, I was lucky really. We forecast we weren't forecast rain, but it got really dark last night, I think night before, and it looked like it was going to storm, and it did storm in some parts of the country, but it didn't quite get to us. So I was really looking forward to having a storm. I do like a good storm, but let's hope the benches are fully dry. This is the pompeian red, but they were when we just sat on them. Me and husband actually, boys had already escaped. We'd had lunch and the boys went off to get on with some studying, and we were just tidying up, and we just popped out for 5 minutes. And then as always, when I sit outside, the reason I don't particularly like sitting in the garden is I always see things that need doing. So I was sitting there looking at the bindweed coming through the fence, so I went and weeded and then went back in and we did the clearing up from lunch. It wasn't too much of an effort, but came up, the boys have already started their studying, and I thought I'd come and do the video. My husband's sitting there, he can help them if they need it. My son had asked for some help, and I sent him the information that he wanted, but he's working on something else at the moment anyway. So there wasn't really much else I could do, so I thought I'd come in. I have got a page I'm in the middle of finishing that I want to do, but I'll get there. I've been doing it, it's the third day of doing it, actually it's taken me so long, but it's not, I suppose it is a complicated page actually. I say it's not, it is. It's this is Dark Flesh. It's from Lost Ocean by Johanna Basford, and a lot of the pages in that book are quite complex. It's the one with all the little tiny circles all over it, and I'm sort of doing it in a easy way with like a rainbow stripe, but it's still just taking me ages, and it's not because it's really hard. It isn't, because I am just colouring each circle. I'm not worrying about the detailing, but I keep getting involved in other things. Yeah, last night I just read a book all evening. I've nearly finished the series that I'm reading, the Laura Ingalls Wilder book, so I just read it, a whole book. But so yes, I was a bit distracted. But there we go. Get there. I'll finish the page. I'll finish it today, I'm sure. While I'm editing this, I can have a go at it. Now I'm going to do the medium flesh, which is the coral, I think. Hang on, this is on my bit of paper. This is the coral. I'm going to take the colour right to the tip. I'm going to try and go over it all so that it blends in nicely. And if I feel like the darker areas need a bit more work, I can do that. So yeah, being Saturday as it is today, me and husband went out this morning. We went to the farmer's market. It was nice. It was quite busy because it's dry. It makes so much difference. And it was sunny. It's not sunny now, but it was then. And so we went there, and we went to the supermarket. I'm having my parents and my sister and her children over, and her husband on Friday, so I was sort of planning what I was going to cook, but I haven't bought many of the ingredients. I bought some because some are quite heavy, but it's just trying to get a balance really, thinking about what can I manage and what not. So doing that. And my mum's bringing the drinks, so that saves me worrying about that. I'm not sure anyone else is bringing anything, so I'll have to just assume not unless I hear otherwise. But that's fine, there's no expectation, I just want to see them, you know, be nice. And I'm going to do a cooked lunch because my mum always likes to have her main cooked meal at lunch at midday. I'm going back to the the burnt carmine to put in some of the shadows. So yeah, she always likes, she finds that if she eats too much at night she can't sleep very well, and also with her diabetes it's apparently better to eat a bigger meal at lunchtime. So, but was also how she grew up. They always did that when she was little. I remember we did it too growing up, but I prefer not to, because my dad used to come home from work at lunchtime and my mum would have a meal on the table, but I prefer to have mine at night. But you know, it's what I got used to. Once you're at work, my dad used to drive home, but I couldn't drive, take a packed lunch. And the same when I was at school. I didn't have a cooked meal at school. They did serve them, but I was never keen on the idea. They always smelled so nasty. They were usually just like baked beans and chips, or pizza and chips, things like that. Now leaves. I'm looking at these sort of bits here as well while I'm thinking. I think we'll go for one of my faves, permanent green olive, and just start doing the base. I think I used these in the first picture. So the base of the leaf in this, and start to fade it off. There we go. and they used to do something called chocolate crunch. I think it was very much a school dinner favourite, and it was it looked like a chocolate shortbread, but they were sometimes really rock hard. I didn't, because I didn't have the dinners, I didn't eat them, but you could buy them even if you didn't have school dinners. My friend used to sometimes buy them, if they had any left over, that was. But no, I never quite fancied it, or they would have like sponge and custard and stuff like that. Right, let's try the earth green yellowish, see if we can finish these off. I remember my mother-in-law talking about her school. She boarded, so they obviously all had a hot meal, and she said her headmistress used to like heart, and sometimes she would get the butcher to get it in for them and tell them all it was a real treat, and they all hated it. I think they just had to eat it, or they'd go hungry otherwise. They had no choice, and they all thought it was really nasty. She also got her her obsession with butter knives from school, because she hated Marmite, and people would, this is May green, I'm just going to go all over all the leaves, and people would put the knife in the butter and then spread it on their toast, and then go into the Marmite and get that, and then put it back in the butter. So you would get Marmite in the butter, and because she hated it so much, I mean, I think that's pretty gross anyway, but because she hated it so much, so I always like a butter knife as well. It was something that we didn't have specific butter knives when I was growing up, but we did always use a different one for the jam, just again because of sort of contamination, I suppose. But I have chattered on and finished that pretty quickly. It was quite a simple design, but I really enjoyed colouring that one. I'm not going to use any dark sepia to separate, I don't think, although I might actually not on the actual flower. I rather like, because we've got the burnt carmine in there, I think we've got enough going on. But I'm thinking here between the leaves and the petals, I could put a bit in here, perhaps. It's up to you. I can't really see properly. It's that my eyes are spasming. It's very weird. It's because it's very dark outside and dark in this room, but I haven't opened the blind. I have just put the light on, the lamp on. Now I'm trying to put my magnifying glasses on. That's better. One of my eyes is behaving. That's it. Just about see what I'm doing. I think the sunshine has been so bright today in my eyes as well. It's made quite the difference. I can see best in the screen actually, which is quite odd. There we go. I think I'm going to leave it there. She says not. I'm just going to do a bit in here. See, I don't know if that's the stem. I think it is, and therefore I want to just make it a bit darker each side so it stands out a bit. There we go. Let's leave that well alone now. So there is our finished flower. So thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and happy colouring.